So, our next presenter is the co-host of the World Sustainability Conference for 2025, Dr. Helen Onyeaka. Dr. Helen Onyeaka is an associate professor in the School of Chemical Engineering at the University of Birmingham, specializing in industrial microbiology with over 25 years' experience in academia and industry. She lectures and supervises research in food microbiology, food safety, and chemical engineering while leading professional training for global institutions, including the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. A award-winning PhD advanced understanding of microbial physiology on the changing environment, contributing to improved industrial processes, has been a work that has been talked about globally. Beyond academia, Dr. Helen Onyeaka is devoted to mentoring, to charity work, family life, and enjoys traveling and reading. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome Dr. Helen Onyeaka. Um, Dr. Helen, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Just give me a minute. I'm trying to share my slide and something is going on here. Just give me a minute, please. Oh, it's back now. Wow, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. So good afternoon, everyone here. I'm Helen Onyeaka from the University of Birmingham. And I just want to do something very practical today, not just talk about sustainability, but show you how it works in real world. So when you have budgets that are tight, policies or politics that is quite complex, and communities that are understandably skeptical, I call this approach sustainability 360 degrees. It sits on three rings, which I'll be talking to you about later today. But these three rings must interlock, and that is a people, planet, and policy. When these rings are aligned, momentum builds and stays built. So over the next few minutes, I'll map the framework. I'll walk you through a city case study that I'm very passionate about because I live in Birmingham City and it's something that is done in this city that is really amazing. So I'm not going to talk about food because I'm a food microbiologist. I'm going to talk about what's really working, what I see, okay? But what I'll do also is to give you a simple playbook that you can apply tomorrow in your own area. So my goal is you leave today with one concrete action you can start the week with. So who am I? I'm an industrial microbiologist, like I said earlier, and Dr. Adenike has kindly introduced me. But one of the key roles I play that I'm very passionate about is I am the Deputy Director of the Birmingham Institute for Sustainability and Climate Action. And what I do here is, bring together all the university sustainability efforts under one umbrella, BISCA. Okay, and we try to co-create solutions to address climate action with external stakeholders. So I do work with a lot of external stakeholders and it's quite exciting. But one thing, that is quite exciting is because of my career trajectory, I worked in academia, I worked in industry, and I do a bit of public engagement. So that cross-sector vantage point is very important. So in the lab, for example, we learn how we can use microbes that are invisible agents to change the entire system. Exciting, okay? In industry, you learn ideas only matters if they can be executed. So you can have all these ideas, but it only matters if you execute it. Whilst in the communities, you learn that trust is the currency of change. This is why I really argue for sustainability 360 degrees. We don't win with technology alone, no. Or with policy alone, no. Or with communications alone, that's not going to work. We win when science, system, and society move together with clear data, shared accountability, and benefits that people can feel in their daily lives. So that's me, and hopefully we'll enjoy the talk. So, why 360 though? This phrase, it's really captures everything, because like David Hanna spoke earlier when he gave us the address, that sustainability is not, is not a problem or an issue you can address in silo. So you need a collaboration, okay? Because we need to have a holistic approach to sustainability, connecting social, environmental, government, getting everything to balance. But what is very important is we need to co-design with people, not for them. So solutions are equitable and durable. Number two, we deliver nature positive, measurable outcomes for the planet. So we can prove impact. So that's quite important that we do that. So we build transparent, adaptive policies so the public can see progress and hold us accountable. So these three conditions are very important. So 360, it's something we really need to take seriously. And also it aligns with the SDG 17 partnership for goals. And I get excited when I think about that because that's that's the way we can see this working. But what I want you to do is think about a ring, okay? Looking at the Sustainability 360 framework, a ring, you have the people on one hand, the planet, and then you have policy. So picture three interconnecting rings. In terms of people, we talk about inclusion, fairness, behavior change. So if the program is unaffordable or confusing, resistance is just natural, okay? And that aligns with SDG 3. Planet, data-driven environmental gains. I'm going to talk about cleaner air, but you can talk about water, resilient food systems, greener streets. If we can't measure it, we cannot manage it. Okay? So in terms of policy, we're looking at alignment, of institutes, clear rules. What are the rules? What is the public, do you have a public dashboard where people can see what is happening? If success is invisible, trust erodes. So your job and my job, it's to bring these three rings, to connect them together, to lock these three rings. So this can be done in several ways. I don't have all the answers, but it can be done in several ways. But one question that were asked yesterday, because we had a parliamentary event where we discussed about our policies we put together for COP30. It's what change we need to see change. Okay. And the lady was very passionate about it. We talk about COP30, all the COP, go for all the COPs, but where is the change? And I had the opportunity to speak to her, and I was like, the change relies on us. We need to be intentional to bring about change. We need to be intentional to see these actions become reality. And one thing I said to her that was quite, I think it was really good is at COP, we set the assignments. So we need to do the homework. So it's on to us to actually do things. So we need to think about how can we bring these three rings together. And that brings me to what I think is so powerful, is the power of collaboration. Okay? So no single organization has all the three levers. Okay? Collaboration is a multiplier. Universities convene evidence and talent. City authorities can set the rules and direct the funds. Businesses can scale the technology and operations. Okay, so that's how it works. So you have the people, you have the planet, and you have the government and institutions enabling sustainability through transparent policies. I can't say how important the policies are transparent. Regulation and cross-sector partnerships. So we need to get all these things working together. So the question is, or the question isn't, should we collaborate? But how do we structure collaboration so it survives, turnover, it survives elections, it survives budget seasons? These are the kind of things we should be thinking about. Collaboration is important. We cannot do without collaboration. So let's see how this works. I live in Birmingham City, like I mentioned earlier. And we have this case study I want to talk about is about the clean air zone, okay? A true sustainability 360 model. I'm not an expert in this area, but I just love what is happening here. So it was launched in 2021 June, and it's called the Birmingham Clean Air Zone. So, and the idea is to reduce harmful pollutants in the city center and to protect the public health. So think of it as 360 in action. So the people dimension focused on fair transition, helping residents and small businesses adapt. The planet dimension was all about, investment in measurement and infrastructure, so we can see the change and scale it. While the policy dimension was aligning national guidance with local delivery. and make performance visible to citizens. So whether you run a hospital, estate, or a university campus, or even a factory, or a local business you have, this structure that was used is really transferable, and I really, really applaud it. Okay, so we're going to look at it individually now. So in terms of the people dimension, which is, if you remember the three rings I told you to focus on, the city invested early in listening. So there were community meetings, SME clinics, and clear communications about health impact. Why? Because if people don't understand why change matters or how to comply, they'll either delay or oppose it. Okay? Because change is not something we just adopt. We need to understand it. So they did invest in that. So there was some financial support targeted at those at risk of being left behind because we don't want anyone to be left behind. So there were micro grants, upgrade support that was done, easy to understand guidance for small firms, things like that. I mean, it was quite exciting because I was around and I saw what was happening. So what I took away from all this, is that equity is not a bolt on. It's a design requirement. It's so important. Without it, you can have good policy, you can become socially regressive, whatever you want to do. But to build legitimacy and speed, you need equity. So the tone of engagement also matters. Plain language, multiple channels, community champions who speak with neighbors, not just at them. And this is what happened in terms of the people dimension, and it was really good. So now, we had like 65% increase in public awareness about air pollution and health impact. So people are now understands and quite knowledgeable. Why do we need a clean air? Why is it important? How does that impact our health? I mean, that was really amazing. And these are some of the collaborators: Birmingham City Council, Public Education and Consultation, local communities and small businesses, University of Birmingham. Our air quality monitoring and citizen science was involved. And you have the transport operators like National Express, Uber, and other fleets of people were all involved in this under transport operation. So it's really amazing. Now, talking about the planet. So the other ring we talked about earlier, planet, okay? Dimension. So University of Birmingham, DEFRA, looked at real-time air quality data analytics. We have the private sectors like EV manufacturers, charging infrastructure, renewable energy, local NGOs, all this were all involved, But the real-time air quality monitoring shows that weather interventions are working street by street. The data informs decision about traffic flow, public transport, placement of EV charging. Importantly, what was so important is the city didn't treat infrastructure and nature as competing priorities now. Okay? So like we have urban greening, trees, pocket parks, and green corridors. They were pursued alongside cleaner vehicles. So the co-benefits were really powerful. Lower pollution, cooler streets in summer, improved biodiversity. All these things worked hand in hand. And also better mental well-being. All because the outcome was really, really visible. You can see changing, charging points where you walk around, and you can feel, a lot of greener streets in Birmingham. I'm even looking out of my office window, it's quite green. So this public support is strengthened when you see, and the adaptation in action. So it's quite important. So moving on to the policy dimension. Okay, that's the third ring. So good policy sets a clear direction. So you had DEFRA involved, Department of Transport, Birmingham City Council, and Office of Environmental Protection. All those ones were all involved in this. Okay, and the policy innovation was about clean air zone integrated, transparent data sharing. I mean, you can log in and see that, and public dashboard for accountability and citizen feedback. I mean, it's really, really great. Okay, so public dashboards and schedules review turn the program into a living system. So if monitoring shows a hotspot, we adjust. If a support scheme is underused, we redesign it. So that kind of thing, you know. I'm not into design, but I got excited because I live in it and I've seen it. And I wanted to share some things about it. So then what changed? Okay. We can see independent monitoring reported meaningfully, reduction in roadside pollution within the zone. You know, so it's quite exciting. Public awareness, like I said, people are now aware that air pollution can lead to ill health. So that's very, very good. So coming back now to this sustainability 360 framework, think about these three rings again, and I'm going to give you 6 things that, you know, takeaways that you need to know that came out of that project. So they are, you know, number 1, start with people. Design for equity. So these 6 lessons you can copy into your own context. So what you need to do first is identify who bears the cost of transition and soften it with targeted support. Second, when you're building, build a data spine. Decide what you measure weekly, monthly, or annually, and publish it. Be transparent. The third is align institutions early. So you can put environment, transport, finance, and comms at the same table with shared KPIs. It's very important that we do that, you know, align it early. Okay? And the next one is make benefits visible. Dashboard, pilot corridors, community briefings, whatever, but ensure that it's visible, people can see the benefits, and then they will more, be able to buy into it. It's very important. Then the next one is pair infrastructure with nature. So EV chargers and green streets are complementary, not competing. So yeah, it's quite important that we do that, think about things like that. Then most importantly is let academia amplify it. Use universities to validate outcomes. It's very important. Convince stakeholders and train the workforce to sustain the gains. So these are the 6 key takeaways, you know, that I wanted to share. That my reflection on the clean air zone and Birmingham. These are the kind of things they did. Okay, so I'm just giving it to you so you can see. So now, in terms of your playbook, how this can be used and how this can be applied. So this is a to do tomorrow playbook. So number 1, map your 3 rings on a page. Who are your people, stakeholders? What planet outcomes matters most? You know, you can even put the SDGs you're trying to address. What policy levers control pace and budget? If it doesn't fit on a page, then it's too complex. So 1 page, 3 rings. Step 2, co-design the first mile. Run open consultations, launch one visible early win, maybe a micro grant scheme for small operators, or monitor pilot corridor that proves benefit quickly. We do things like that here in BISCA, where we have grants. We have a catalyst grants going on at the moment to get people to start co-designing and, you know, thinking about solutions. So that's very important, you know. Then the next is instrument everything, you know, choose the vital signs, 3 vital signs to track publicly, e.g. pollutants level or waste diversion or adoption rate, something, or even satisfaction. So we need to measure that, okay? And track it so it's very visible. Then the third thing is write adaptive policy. So you can do a review maybe after 6 months or 12 months that commits you to a pivot where the data demands it. And finally, tell the story. So regular updates, what improved, what was hard, what's next. People forget setbacks if they're informed and invited to share response. But if you don't, that's when they'll remember that that went wrong. So be transparent. It's so important in, you know, when you're talking about sustainability 360, wanting to do something that is going to affect the planet and people and policy. Transparency is one of the keys, okay? So now, before I finish, I really want to talk about Birmingham Institute for Sustainability and Climate Action, what we do here. So I am one of the deputy directors here, and it's really, really exciting, what we're doing here at Birmingham University. So what we do is we try to bring together, all the academics that are working within the sustainability space under one umbrella, like I mentioned earlier. But not just that, but also get them to work with external stakeholders so we can put our research into action, when we work with external partners. And I want to show you something that really gets me excited when I think about this, okay? It's about all the university efforts within the university. Like we have so many institutes, so many centers, and so most of them are working in sustainability. And it's really amazing that we, are able to work partnerships outside the university and bringing them all together so we can co-create solutions that can address climate change impact. So I'm looking at here, you can see we have Birmingham Institute for Robotics, and you can see BISCA under Connecting Cultures, Birmingham Clinical Trials Unit. We have the one for FAIR Award. So you can see there are 5 key things here at the university and all the institutes and centers that are under that. So the university is really, really taking sustainability, efforts, to another level. So do watch this space, and you're more than welcome to connect with us at BISCA or any of the colleagues I've spoken today. I'm really, really happy that we have quite a lot of university professors and assistant professors and myself, telling you about what is happening here at the University of Birmingham. So to finish, my final thought is collaboration transforms sustainability goals from ideas into reality. Do connect with us, connect with BISCA, connect with all the speakers here, and it would be nice to continue this conversation after today. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Onyeaka, for the wonderful presentation.